Good morning. In the last class, we have discussed the plane wave solution. Our next aim is to find the spin of a Dirac particle. Before going to calculate the spin of a Dirac particle, we can discuss some history. The theory that radiation travels in space in the form of waves got established as it successfully explained the optical phenomena like reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, and polarization. However, to explain photoelectric effect and Compton effect, one needs the particle or corpuscular nature of the radiation. Thus, radiation possesses wave-particle duality. That is, sometimes it behaves like a wave and at sometimes it behaves like a particle. And later Louis de Broglie extended this concept to the material particles also. According to him, a wave is associated with a particle in motion called a matter wave, which may be regarded as localized with the particle. And he suggested that the wavelength of this matter wave is given by lambda equal to h by p, where h is the Planck's constant and p is the momentum of the particle. So, not photons and electrons, but all particles and all waves are in fact a mixture of wave and particle. But in our daily life, the particle component dominates over the wave aspect, and the wave aspect is totally insignificant. But in the world of very small particles, you cannot avoid the wave aspect of particles. In the world of very small particles, things do not behave in any way that we can understand from our experience of the everyday life, and the quantum nature comes into play. But we always try to explain things in the quantum world using classical analogy, and it leads to confusion. We always compare the Bohr's atom model with the planetary motion, but remember, there is no physical analogy we can make to understand what goes on inside atoms. Atoms behave like atom, nothing else. So when we hear the word atom, we always imagine hard spheres and our mind treat electrons as tiny particles. And we imagine electrons spin just like a child spinning top or like the rotation of earth on its own axis. But remember, ideas like position, velocity or spin simply does not have the same meaning in the world of microscopic world as they do in the everyday life. So how the concept of spin evolved? The Bohr model of the atom failed to explain the splitting of spectral lines which was assumed to be single into closely spaced multiplets. From their studies of spectra, the physicists of the early 1920s came up with several possible explanations for the multiplet structure. But what proved to be the best explanation came from Pauli. And he assigned 4 separate quantum numbers to the electron. But remember, this was in 1924 when physicists considered electron as a particle and tried to explain its quantum properties in terms of familiar from the everyday world. The 3 quantum numbers which were already included in the Bohr model were thought of as describing the angular momentum of the electron, the shape of the orbit, and its orientation. So the 4th quantum number had to be associated with some other property of the electron, a property that came in only 2 varieties to account for the observed splitting of the spectral lines. This 4th quantum number was labeled as electron spin, and which could be thought of as pointing either up or down, giving a nice double valued quantum number. And it was later proposed that the electron had an intrinsic spin of 1/2 in the natural units, that is 1 by half h by 2 pi, or you can write it as 1 by half h cut. And this spin could line up either parallel to the magnetic field of the atom or anti-parallel. Okay, the theory of spinning electrons explained the splitting of spectral lines, but what thing is called spin? In one explanation, you might be told that the electron spin is not like the spin of ordinary spinning top because the electron has to spin around twice to get back to where it started. In 1932, Bohr established that the electron spin cannot be measured by any classical experiments. It is a property that only appears in quantum interaction and it has no classical meaning whatsoever. And later, Dirac showed that the electron spin is essentially a relativistic property and nothing like the property called spin associated with rotating objects in the everyday world. So spin of a particle defines a direction in space up and down, just like the spin of the earth defines the direction of the north-south axis. And with this brief introduction, we can now find the spin of a Dirac particle, but you should be familiar with some of the properties of commuting brackets. So in the next lecture, we will discuss some of the basic properties of commutating brackets, and then we can go to the spin of a Dirac particle. Okay, thank you.